Okay, it is 4 o'clock and we will go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Abby will read the language under public content.
Thank you. In order to help assure compliance with the Brown Act, and in order to make our board meetings more effective and more efficient, trustees will speak only when recognized, and trustees who speak on a topic other than the agenda item currently under consideration will be out of order. Board meeting protocols. The safety and decorum of the school board meetings are important to Stockton Unified School District and the community. SUSD promotes the public's right to free speech. We want to make sure that all community members, parents, and students are able to participate in a safe environment. We want to ensure all community members have a seat during the board meeting. We will have the maximum number of chairs allowed per fire code 132. We ask that members of the public do not stand along the side of walls or block the walkway. Anyone standing up during the meeting will be asked to take a seat. If they do not comply, they will be asked to leave. Any accredited news media representative who is standing will have a press credential clearly visible. There is a podium position in front of the first row of chairs. No one other than the person who is speaking may be at the podium except for a guardian, administrator, or translator. For safety, people may not line up behind the speaker to wait their turn. We want to give the person at the podium the time and respect they deserve. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes. Attendees are not allowed to enter the area past the podium where board members are sitting. No profanity or obscenity. During the board meeting, if there is a disruption, the board president or designee will give a verbal warning to the person or persons causing the disruption. If the disruption continues after the verbal warning, the individual will be asked to leave or be removed from the premises for the remainder of the board meeting. After the meeting is concluded, we ask the community to clear the lobby area in a respectful manner. Thank you.
No, not you. All right, moving on to item 1.2, roll call taken by Abby.
Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Present.
Thank you. Clerk Sophia Colon.
Present.
Thank you. Trustee Donald Donaire.
Present.
Thank you. Trustee Cecilia Mendez.
Present.
Thank you. Trustee Alicia Rico.
Presente.
Thank you. Trustee Raymond Zulueta. Trustee Zulueta is currently absent. President Angel Ann Flores.
Present.
Thank you. Back to you, President Flores.
Moving on to item 1.3, and I'm very proud to say that our student honoree is Miss Natalie Cacho, who is our student from Merlot Institute of Environmental Technology. And if I can please call Mr. Gary Phillips, principal, to the podium, please.
And SUSD employees. I am Gary Phillips. I'm the proud principal of Merlot Institute. This evening, we're recognizing Natalie Cacho. Natalie's a very strong student, but she's a very strong leader. She has led a group to our Skills USA National Conference with a Superworm project. She has advocated for Perkins funds in Washington, D.C. with Skills USA. She is our Skills USA president. She is our student body president. She has a 3.96 GPA, and she's a wonderful advocate for students. So with no further ado, Miss Natalie Cacho.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Cacho, and I am currently the ASB president at Merlot Institute. During my freshman year, I was very shy. I didn't really know how to step out of my comfort zone. I even cried during my interview to get into Merlot Institute, but I just struggled a lot. But during my sophomore year, I had a teacher who just encouraged me to go and try and run for Skills USA and try to compete. And that really pushed me out of my shell. I competed with the project, the Superworm project, like Mr. Phillips mentioned. And I was just really passionate about that project since it's about darkling beetle larvae, which are able to decompose styrofoam fully. And I thought that was really great for our environment. I won gold at regionals, and I was able to move on to state level competition and win gold there as well. And with that, I was able to go to nationals, which was in Atlanta, Georgia. And unfortunately, I didn't win, but that just inspired me to try even harder next year. So the following year was my junior year, and I became ASB secretary and the Skills USA chapter president at Merlot Institute. And I was able to help my peers. With my experience, I was able to lead them through the Skills USA process and how to be an ASB and how to become a better student to help our school and our community. And during my senior year, which is currently, I am now the ASB president, and also I continue to be the Skills USA president at our chapter. While reflecting back to my years, I am just very grateful for my teachers who inspired me, and I hope to become a teacher in the future to inspire others the way they have inspired me. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We do have a award for you. But before I come down and do that, nomás quiere decir a su mamá que el accomplishment, ¿cómo dice el accomplishment? Del mamá es para mirar sus hijos haciendo cosas así, muy positivo, y que se suben en sus ocasiones, y yo puedo mirar eso en su cara ahorita. So you are accomplishing every mother's dream right now, to be able to stand there and to be able to speak about your accomplishments now. So I look forward to what you can do in the future. Hold your friend to fix her hair. Get it.
No way.
Oh, it's so cold. Okay, we will now move on to item 1.4, oral suggestions regarding open session agenda items in section 1 and closed session. And Christina will announce a number of public comments and request each person to provide their public comment in the order they were received.
Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Madam President, we currently do not have any public comments to report.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 1.5, public employee discipline. Ms. Namita, do we have any concerns to speak of?
Madam President, we do not have any items on this agenda.
Thank you. Moving on to item 1.6, the board will consider in closed session items listed in closed session by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Thank you, President Flores. In closed session, the board will consider item 2.1A, public employee appointment certificated, item 2.2A, public employee appointment classified, 2.3A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, subsection D-1 of Government Code Section 54956.9, 2.4A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation under subsections D-2 and E-3 of Government Code Section 54956.9, Claim 626-185 Ramirez versus SUSD, and 2.5D student expulsion, AA-5. That'll all. Oh, okay, sorry. Also, there is a change to the order of agenda from a green sheet. At the request of Human Resources, the following two appointments were pulled from the October 24th board agenda. Item 1, Director of Equity, Diversity, and Family Engagement. Number 2, Director of Local Control Accountability Program. That is all that will be considered in closed session. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you. We will now recess to closed session at 4:11. Good evening. Thank you for waiting. I will now call the meeting back into public session at 5:07. And Abby will read the language under public content.
Thank you. In order to help assure compliance with the Brown Act, and in order to make our board meetings more effective and more efficient, trustees will speak only when recognized. And trustees who speak on a topic other than the agenda item currently under consideration will be out of order. Board meeting protocols. The safety and decorum of the school board meetings are important to Stockton Unified School District and the community. SUSD promotes the public's right to free speech, and we want to make sure that all community members, parents, and students are able to participate in a safe environment. We want to ensure all community members have a seat during the board meeting. We will have the maximum number of chairs allowed per Fire Code 132. We ask that members of the public do not stand along the side of walls or block the walkway. Anyone standing up during the meeting will be asked to take a seat. If they do not comply, they will be asked to leave. Any accredited news media representative who is standing will have a press credential clearly visible. There is a podium position in front of the first row of chairs. No one other than the person who is speaking may be at the podium except for a guardian, administrator, or translator. For safety, people may not line up behind the speaker to wait their turn. We want to give the person at the podium the time and respect they deserve. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Attendees are not allowed to enter the area past the podium where board members are sitting. No profanity or obscenity. During the board meeting, if there is a disruption, the board president or designee will give a verbal warning to the person or persons causing the disruption. If the disruption continues after the verbal warning, the individual will be asked to leave or be removed from the premises for the remainder of the board meeting. After the meeting is concluded, we ask the community to clear the lobby area in a respectful manner. Thank you, and back to you, President Flores.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 4.1, the Pledge of Allegiance, which we will be asked to be led by Dr. Jason Murphy, Director of Research and Accountability, our Superman of data.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy. Moving on to item 4.2, which is action taken in closed session by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Thank you so much, President Flores. In closed session, the board motioned to approve item 2.1. Motion carried 6-0 with trustee Zulueta being absent. The board motioned to approve item 2.2. Motion carried 5-1 with trustee Zulueta being absent. Yes votes coming from trustee Colon, Denaire, Mendez, Rico, and Stevens. 1 no vote coming from trustee Flores, and 1 absent being trustee Zulueta. Nothing to report for item 2.3. And board motion to table item 2.4. Motion carried 4-2 with 1 being absent. Trustees Colon, Denaire, Flores, and Stevens voted yes. 2 no votes coming from trustee Mendez and Rico. And last one being trustee Zulueta, who was absent. Those are all of the actions taken in closed session. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you. Moving on to item 4.3, the order of agenda, and Christina will read the oral announcement.
Thank you, Madam President. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Madam President, we currently have one public comment from Luis Barros regarding item 13.1.
We were actually on 4.3, order of agenda.
Oh.
Sorry, Luis, just 1 second.
My apologies. This is the opportunity for the Board of Trustees to make any changes to the order of the agenda. Otherwise, the order of the agenda will be as published. Thank you.
I don't see any objections to the order of agenda, so roll call vote, please.
Can I get a first and a second?
I motion to approve the order of the agenda.
I'll
Stevens?
second.
Thank you. Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Donaire,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
and Trustee Zulueta is absent. Motion passes 6-0 with Trustee Zulueta being absent. Thank you.
Moving on to item 5.1, oral suggestions and comments from the community regarding open session agenda items.
Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. The first comment and only comment we currently have is from Ms. Luis Barros.
Good evening, trustees and Superintendent Rodriguez. I'm here to urge the board to approve this agreement between CSEA regarding our ELOT facilitators. Our after-school facilitators provide numerous important services to our students in the after-school program. Their job description is expansive. It requires a lot of them. This agreement would allow the facilitators to increase their contracted hours this school year, with next school year them going all up to 8 hours a day. This will allow the district to provide services to students who participate in the after-school program. It will allow the district to expand services to students. This will really benefit the Stockton community. So we strongly advocate a yes vote from the board. Thank you very much.
Moving on to item 5.2, oral suggestions and comments from the community regarding non-agenda items.
Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Madam President, we currently do not have any more public comments for item 5.2.
Awesome, thank you. Moving on to item 6.1, approval of the consent items, and Christina will read the oral announcement.
Does any trustee have an item they would like to remove for separate consideration as an action item? After any items are removed for separate consideration, there will be a vote on the consent items without any discussion. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve the consent?
Motion to approve the consent items. Stevens?
I'll
Second, Cecilia Mendez.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0 with Trustee Zulueta being absent. Thank you.
Moving on to item 10.1, board committee reports, and Christina will read the oral announcement and announce each board committee for a report. Yvette will be the timekeeper.
This is an opportunity to hear any reports from the board committees, specifically regarding prior or upcoming committee meetings. There will be a 3-minute limit per report. The first report will be for the City of Stockton Parks and Recreation Committee, Trustee Donald Donaire.
Sorry, is this the part? Okay, sorry. My apologies. So the Parks and Rec Department will continue to work on the installation of public restrooms in city parks throughout Stockton, including American Legion Park, Eden Park, Mattie Harrell Park, Oak Park, and Victory Park. These public restrooms are high-tech. They're routinely wash, sanitize, and dries the toilet seats and floor of each cubicle. So really excited to have that. There will be playground replacements, refurbishments, and repairs in Brooking, Pinella Park, Sandman, and Weber Point. And then lastly, Cesar Chavez Central Library is hosting their second annual Haunted House event. This is suited for youth in grades 4 to 12. There will be arts and crafts and games made available for the whole family. And the next City of Stockton Parks and Recs Commission meeting is, sorry, I don't have a date, but it's the last Monday of, the fourth Monday of November. Thank you.
The next committee meeting is for the San Joaquin County School Boards Association Executive Committee. Trustee Donald Danair.
Hi, everyone. So CSBA Advocacy propelled 5 sponsored bills to the governor's desk and secured his signature on a package of new laws that will help increase support for districts facing cyber attacks, provide immediate relief during the teacher shortage, help county boards appoint student members, and extend opportunity for boards to meet remotely during states of emergency. So the 5 CSBA-backed bills I'm going to talk about now, real briefly. AB 1023 increases cybersecurity support for school districts by requiring the California Cybersecurity Integration Center to include a rep from the California Department of Education and coordinate information sharing with school districts, county office of ed, and charter schools. SB 765 provides immediate relief to schools during the teacher shortage by making it easier to waive the 180-day mandatory waiting period and increasing the salary earning cap LEAs must observe before hiring a recently retired teacher. AB 483 expands access to school-based health and mental health services and increases funding for school districts by improving the Medi-Cal Local Education Agency Billing Option Program. The bill modifies and imposes new requirements related to timelines, reporting, technical assistance, stakeholder engagement, and guidance for the LEA BOP. AB 417 provides needed follow-up to 2022 legislation that authorized county boards of education to select a student in a district school to fill a position on the county office board reserved for a pupil. In the absence of a petition for student rep, AB 417 permits a county board to appoint one of its own students from a school directly under its jurisdiction to the position. And the last bill that was backed by CSBA is AB 557. It extends indefinitely the authority for school boards to hold meetings virtually during states of emergency. And that's my report. Thank you.
The next committee is the 3x3 Committee. Clerk Sophia Colon.
Hello, everyone. So we just had our meeting yesterday here in the boardroom. We got an update on our Care Solace services. And so we plan to have quarterly updates on the service, specifically with our 3x3 committee, so that our city partners can just get a little idea of what we provide to our students' families. We also discussed the City Safe Routes program. We're looking forward to getting an update on projects that had been submitted previously, so we can see where those projects are, what we already have asked for. And we also talked about just the process of asking for certain projects. We're looking to make the process more cohesive and strengthening our connections between the district and city entities, just so that our schools can be serviced in the best way that they can in a timely manner. We're starting to talk more about our shared project, which with the purpose of increasing traffic safety awareness. So it's a shared project between the district and the city. And we're just going to really focus in on planning in these next few months. We're scheduling a meeting for November. We don't have a date yet, but as soon as we do, we'll make sure to get that communication out. So that way we can get going on a shared project. So thank you.
1852 Foundation Committee, Vice President Kenitha Stevens.
Sure. So 1852, we met yesterday to start planning for our 1852 holiday celebration. We will be providing toys to our kiddos during the month of December. We also planned our annual fundraiser that'll be coming up in 2024. We talked about our budget and then looking at raising more funds to support our students here at Stockton Unified. And lastly, we did get a report back from one of our students, Ms. Vasquez, who went off to engineering camp. 1852 was able to send her. So we just want to make sure we're able to provide more supports and activities for our kids. We know they're dreaming big and we want to be able to support them in the process.
Curriculum and Student Outcomes Committee, trustee Donald Danair.
So the next meeting was rescheduled. It was Friday, October 27th, but it moved to Tuesday, November 28th. It's still 5:30 and still located in the district boardroom.
English Learners Committee, President Angel Ann Flores.
Nothing to report. We haven't had, we're still looking forward to our next board meeting, our next committee meeting.
Equity Diversity Committee, President Angel Ann Flores.
Nothing to report. Still waiting for our next committee meeting.
Safety and Student Conduct Committee, Vice President Kenitha Stevens.
Sure. So we're looking at hosting another event. I'll pass it over to trustee Cologne, who probably want to speak more about hosting at one of her school sites.
So we're going to be planning our safety meeting to be more of an event-driven meeting. So we plan to host that at a school in Area 6. More details coming very, very soon.
Board Policy Committee, President Angel Ann Flores.
Our meeting is on Thursday at 5:30. I hope to see all of you there.
Budget Oversight Committee, Vice President Kenitha Stevens.
Nothing new to report. Our next budget meeting will be Monday, November 13th, 4 p.m. here at the district office.
Transformative Justice Committee, Clerk Sofia Colon.
All right, thank you. We had a really great meeting on October the 16th. We had a really informative discussion on SUSD's history with restorative justice practices and programs. And so I really want to encourage everyone to join us at our next meeting, which is going to be Monday, December the 11th at 5:30 here in the boardroom. We're going to continue the discussion on a restorative justice pilot rollout. So please join us to be a part of that discussion and provide your feedback on the process. We're going to make sure to have the agenda set early so we can get that communication sent out early as well.
Black Students Thrive Committee, Vice President Kenitha Stevens.
So Black Students Thrive will be hosting our Youth Speak event. It'll happen at the Amelia Adams Whole Life Center, November 3rd from 5:30 to 7:30. And I look forward to seeing all of you there. It'll be another great event.
SUSD Board President Roundtable Standing Committee, President Angel Ann Flores.
Our meeting is scheduled for this coming Thursday at 4 p.m. And I hope to see you all there. Moving on to item 10.2, brief reports on trustee activities, and Christina will read the oral announcement. And if we could go ahead and keep that down to 2 minutes.
This is the opportunity for each trustee to make a brief announcement or to give a brief report on their own recent activities at the district pursuant to the Brown Act, Government Code Section 54954.2A3. This will be a 2-minute limit per report.
Starting from my right, trustee Donald Danair.
Hi, everyone. So just two short updates. I hosted a joint meet and greet with Stockton City Council candidate, Mario Enriquez. This was on Monday at 5:30. It was hosted by the San Joaquin Pride Center. It was a really small group, but it was a really good conversation. Some issues that came up that we talked about were homelessness, STEM education, and building partnership between the school district and the city of Stockton, and making sure that our young folks feel safer. And then the other update that I have, last Wednesday was the San Joaquin County School Board's dinner hosted by the San Joaquin County Office of Education. We celebrated San Joaquin County Teacher of the Year, heard a little bit from the County Office of Ed Superintendent Troy Brown, and we also were able to connect with other school board members throughout the county. So I really appreciate that and look forward to next year's county dinner. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So we'll try to keep this short. Coffee with Trustee Cologne is going to be this Saturday, the 28th at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at DF Donuts on March Lane. This past week, I was just really happy to attend the State of the District and watch the Million Miles Away movie at Franklin, which is my alma mater. So I was just really happy to be back there. I'm really looking forward to all the different trunk or treats that are taking place. We've got so many schools that are doing their own trunk or treat. A lot of community organizations are doing their own trunk or treat. So a lot of good places to take your kids, your families for just some good fun. I'm looking forward to joining our public safety department at Weber's Point on Monday. And also too, I want to also mention that I attended the school board's dinner, and I was just really, really excited that our county is going to be looking at literacy for third grade, early childhood education and literacy as a focus. And so I'm sure our superintendent will talk more about it, but just it's one of the things that was really close to my heart. Just knowing that our youngest are going to be supported to just learn that foundational skill, just the very basic literacy skill that's going to carry them throughout their life. I'm just really, it kind of gave me goosebumps that night to hear Superintendent Troy Brown talk about 14 school district superintendents all agreed to make this their focus. It's something that I've never heard of. And so I'm just really excited to see where that goes. So thank you.
Trustee Zulueta?
Good evening, everyone. It's been a long day. And thank you for being here tonight. I just want to bring a little more attention to all the trunk or treats and celebrations that are going on this week. We've got quite a few schools that have been reaching out and really excited about the opportunity to host trunk or treats for their community. So if you hear about them, make sure you show up and support our schools and our families. If you haven't heard about those, make sure you show up and support our Department of Public Safety at Weber Point. That's one that I always try to get to. And so I look forward to that, and I hope to see you all there. Have a good week. Thank you.
Trustee Rico?
Oh, I thought you came to wait to be here. Good evening. So I just want to say a few things. I took the CSBA training for budget training. And now I have a really good image about what budget is. Because since I've been sitting in this seat, I didn't have the opportunity before. So as I seen, we are bringing new positions, new openings. And I was asking superintendent about if we are bringing so many positions, a few positions that we didn't have in before, what happened with the 39 people who is on the list?
We're not
39 months.
we're not allowed to discuss that.
So,
You are violating, so please.
I'm
refrain
talking
from
about the
speaking.
training that I took. So it's on my 3 minutes to 2 minutes to
Speak to
report.
your training and
So
not
can
to
you just explain me that?
anything.
Be professional.
Understand.
Say be professional. So be professional, please.
Ladies.
Thank you. Also, I just want to say that I was attending the, I don't know, how do you call the first thing that happens at Franklin last week? Okay. So at the beginning, it was everything okay. After that, it was so disappointing for me. So as a Franklin, this event was at Franklin. So I was supposed to expecting the students from Franklin were performing at that event, but well, we'll see. And also I just bring it in to the concern that safety, it's triggering, especially one of my sites. So we focus on many things, but I believe we are forgetting about the safety. Because at Roosevelt, there's every single day there had to be happening fights. Every single day. Thank you.
Vice President?
Sure, super excited for the state of the district. Congratulations to all of you who showed up to support all the work that you all have been doing as a district, really showed up at that event. It was our first event. I look forward to another year of the state of the district to highlight the work that we're doing, also to see not only our performers, but to have all of our parent leaders in the room as well. So super exciting moment for us to kick off with Dr. Rodriguez. For the first time, something great happening here at Stockton Unified. I also attended the county board dinner. I got to hear from the teacher of the year, which is super exciting. She was emotional about the work that she's doing, working at a Title I school. And I know the work that all of you do, it is really tough, but we have to keep going just to make sure our students have what they need at the end of the day. I always forget what I'm supposed to say at this point. I did attend Reinvent Stockton Cradle to Career to talk about the work that we're doing at Stockton Unified. And I really would like to see that partnership with them. They're doing some great work with our kiddos, but I want to make sure that they're aligning with the policies and support that we have here as a district. And then the last thing I did attend, I can't remember the other thing that I attended. I apologize, but I would say ditto. I attended everything. Oh, I did attend the movie at Franklin, which was really good. A lot of our families came out to hear Jose Hernandez, to see the movie. So it's a really great showing just to show support for our families and to give them some family fun activities that happen that they actually don't have to pay for. That's happening at a school site that can actually hold all of our families as well. So thank you all for the work that you do. And we know that we have a long way to go, but we're excited to lift it up.
Trustee Mendez, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I would like to thank everybody for coming and thank you. That's all I can report right now.
Thank you. So again, I was able to attend also the CSBA dinner, and the state of the district went really well. I want to thank everybody who participated. And I was excited to highlight all the work that our district staff has done. You guys are doing an amazing job. You guys kept us afloat during some really rough times. And I just don't ever want that to go unnoticed or unspoken, or at least not acknowledged. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you all on the ground, on the front lines, and working directly with our kids. So from the bottom of my heart, you guys already know that my heart is with you all, and you guys are rock stars in my books. Merlot is having their trunk or treat on the 30th. I was able to also see they had a drone presentation in one of their classrooms, in Mr. Alvarado's classroom. So it was kind of cool to see the kids come out and work on the drone outside and then be on the inside and looking at what they were seeing on the outside. That was really great. I was able to attend the Mexican Heritage Center. Super fan of Mexican Heritage Center, as you can tell. And they had their altares that they were presenting, and the priest came over and blessed all of the altares. And I, again, look forward to seeing you all there this coming Saturday for their huge, big event. And again, I'm going to throw a plug, come get a tamale from me so I could show Gracie that I could be a good tamale seller. All right, that's it. Moving on to item 10.3, approval of the minutes for October 17th, regular board meeting. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes. Stevens.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
And no.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with Trustee Rico voting no. Thank you.
Moving on to item 10.4, approval of resolution number 2340, resolution on trustee compensation for missed board meeting. And also, if we could make a reflection report that I did not review this nor approve this, so please remove my name from that option, that item. And then can I get a motion to approve?
I motion to approve item 10.4.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Abstain.
Motion passes 6-0 with President Flores abstaining. Thank you.
Moving on to item 11.1, Superintendent's Report by Dr. Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I do so appreciate all the board that was able to come out for the first State of the District. So an event like that takes a lot of coordination. And so I just want to really recognize Melinda Mesa for all that she did to make sure that the event went as smoothly as it did. Good job, Melinda. Our DPS, our Department of Public Safety, and all that they did to support the event. So thank you, Chief Franco, for making sure that it went thoroughly. And then we always have to have students present. So I couldn't have done it without Cindy. So thank you so much for ensuring that we were able to have a wide variety of students all the way from 8th grade to our high school. And so they really shined. And then I know Casey and the directors, they worked to ensure that we had cheerleaders and football players from every single high school. So thank you for pushing in. And those children posters that you saw are going to be all around the 3rd floor. So or the 2nd floor, right? We almost I used to be on the 3rd floor. On the 2nd floor. So come on and see them. And if you haven't seen the report, I know I sent a link out on Friday, but if you haven't seen it, remember it's in English and Spanish. And I was able to speak to it yesterday in front of a national group of superintendents, and they thought it was pretty cool. So I do think it's a good representative of the strengths and accolades, and also some priority recommendations. So if you think, what are we going to focus on for these next year, 2 years? Those are our priority recommendations, and you can hold me accountable to that. And also want to thank again our DPS for the volunteer fair. So we had a lot of families that said the fingerprinting was a challenge for them. The TB was a challenge for them. So we had multiple nurses from our district who spent a Sunday, plus our DPS department that spent a Sunday to ensure that we could have our first ever volunteer fair. And so we had dozens of people come out to get those fingerprinting and get that TB test done. And so I just appreciate the efforts, and it shows that we do care about, again, whole child, whole family, whole community. And then last, just talking about the literacy initiative. So we've had an early literacy initiative actually here for several years. And so that has already been started, but luckily it is also a focus of mine. And it's a focus of Mr. Klappenbach, and it is also a focus of all the superintendents of San Joaquin. So what we're going to be doing is some communities of practice in which we're going to be able to have really rich conversations about the science of reading and how we can continue to implement the science of reading to have what Vice President Stevens spoke about at the State of the District, which is all students by 3rd grade reading on grade level. So thank you very much.
Moving on to 12.1, adoption of resolution number 23-39, authorizing approval of agreements incorporating piggyback contract with Renaissance Learning Inc. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion, Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second?
I'll second Stevens.
No discussion? Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Moving on to item 12.2, approval to purchase 10 vans for the CTE program use. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to
Motion.
approve. All second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item 12.3, approval of the collaborative services agreement with the University of the Pacific Tomorrow Project for the ELOP department to provide STEM education to 7th through 11th grade students. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Donaire,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.1, approval of the memorandum of understanding with California School Employees Association, CSEA 318, E-Lot Facilitators Hours, FTE. A motion to approve.
I'll second Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes, I just want to say, since I stepped foot in this position,
voting.
this is something that I have been really pushing for. So I am
Yes,
super
no.
proud and excited for this.
Motion.
Thank you,
pass-
thank you,
yes or
thank you.
no?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Moving on to item 14.1, approval of the vendor payments issued for the month of September 2023 as presented. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second Stevens.
Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
14.2, approval to contract with Perkins Eastman to complete a district-wide facilities master plan. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion
motion to-
Cecilia Mendez.
I will second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Moving on to item 14.3, approval of pool of vendors from RFP number 24.001, legal services. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion Cecilia Mendez.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Abstain.
Motion passes 6-0, with President Flores abstaining. Thank you.
Moving on to item 14.4, adoption of resolution 23-36, approving agreement and accepting donation of portable buildings. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Stevens.
Can I get a second?
Cecilia
Second.
Mendez, second.
Discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
14.5, adoption of resolution number 23-35, awarding the lease-back contract to Robert A. Boffman, Inc. for the Chavez High School Athletics Improvements, bid number 24.014. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second?
I'll second. Sophia Cologne.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico.
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta.
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
14.6, approval of amendment number 9 to the agreement for architectural services with Verde Design, Inc. for the Chavez High School Athletic Improvements Project. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon.
Yes.
Trustee Donaire.
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
14.7, adoption of resolution 23-37 for the 2023 general obligation, refunding bonds in a maximum principal amount of $150 million. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion Cecilia Mendez.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Donaire,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 14.8, adoption of resolution 23-38 for the 2023 general obligation bonds, 2014 election, 2023 Series C, Ed Tech bonds in a maximum principal amount of $35 million. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion Cecilia Mendez.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Donaire,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
14.9, approval of the agreement for professional services with 1500 Inc. to provide district-wide mechanical equipment condition assessment. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion Cecilia Mendez.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Donaire,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
15.1, student expulsions, AA-5. Can I get a motion to approve?
I made a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Donaire,
Abstain.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
I'm staying.
trustee Zulueta,
Abstain.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with trustees Donaire, Rico, and Zulueta abstaining. Thank you.
And we will now adjourn the meeting at 5:49. I think that's history right there.